What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is BC. I got my crazy. This was gifted to me years ago at one of AZD's events, right, by one of his students. This is like a 6XL sweater, right? So sometimes when it gets a little colder, I wear it. I wanted to come on today, right? I'll do another live tomorrow and on the 1st and all that stuff, right? But I wanted to come on today and talk about something in regards to self-reflection and just seeing your current circumstances in the world truly for what it is and the power in that. We've become so far taken away from reality, concrete reality. And I'll explain why here in a second. We've gotten so far away from that the real world is unrecognizable to most people. You see, there's been a big push. This is an agenda, of course, right? Whether you want to believe it or not, and you hear this, it's all about what you think in your truth and your own subjective reality. And we can insert all of the things that you see happening in society now, right? With pronouns and this, and I identify as this, and all that stuff. All of this is part of that agenda, right? Whether you want to admit it or not. If you can't see it, that's fine, right? Whether you want to attack me or not, I really don't care. You just can't see it. That's fine, right? Meaning, people's subjective experience and viewpoint is being held as more important than concrete objective reality. Now, again, that is dangerous. That is nuts. One of the earliest tenets we learn in NLP, which I love, right? Neuro-linguistic programming, is the map is not the territory. The map is not the territory. Your perception of the territory, your viewpoint on reality isn't necessarily reality. It's a map of the territory. Now, us as human beings, we've agreed to live in a society. Again, if you're like me, you were born into this, right? You don't really have a say, right? But in order for there to be order amongst us, there has to be some sort of, structure, whether we agree on it or not. I'm not here to argue about it, right? Because it's not perfect. But let's not talk about that for a second. But there's certain things we need to agree upon. Look up, sky is blue. Okay. All right. We all generally agree on that type of stuff. 2 + 2 = 4, so on and so forth. But let's take a look at this thing, right? Because at the societal level, this starts infiltrating people's minds. Now, on a personal level, that will affect the individual too, because it has already penetrated the depths of their subconscious mind without them realizing it. Because everywhere they look, every conversation, what they see is that. So now when they come back to themselves, they have issues with discerning between objective, real reality and delusions, right? Fantasies, dreams. So let's explore this a little bit. What do I mean? Right now, right? I have, as an example, let's look financially, right? I have many bank accounts. I can go on my Chase app and I have 2 bank accounts here, right? 2 bank accounts on my Chase app, right? One of them says it has like $2,000. The other one has 50 something thousand, right? This is 2 of many bank accounts that I have. That's reality. That's what I have right now in the bank, right? Cash that I can pull out, money and resources in those 2 accounts that are real on my phone. That's real. I can have dreams about money and all this other stuff, but that's real. Meaning everything I've done, right? Everything that I have created, all the stuff that I've done, the moving and shaking has led to, in this case, of these 2 bank accounts having that much money. That's reality. So then if we take all the other ones and add it, cool. That's what I got. That's reality. Right? When I look in the mirror, right? I just took a cold shower after coming home from working out, and I'm naked and I'm looking at my body, my physique, my abs, right? How, cut my muscles are, right? That's reality. That's reality. I can't tell people, oh, I'm this, I'm that. I can lie or say this, but that's reality. I go out in public and I speak to people, how they respond to me, that's reality. When I get on stage, I can impact people. When I go out in public and I speak, people listen, right? I have conversations all the time. Most people are very receptive to me. That's reality. My YouTube channels and the growth and the success, my real estate businesses, my friendships, all that, that's reality. That's what's been created, and that's my current circumstance. It wasn't like that a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We can go on and on. But you have to look at what's real. And people nowadays, partly because of the agenda, but just in general, have become deluded to reality. I have conversations with business people all the time in the communication field, right? In the sales field, business, and the stories that you hear are just nuts. The person who is not making any money tells you everything is good and business is good. That's a lie. That's not reality. Now, I'm not yelling at them. I'm saying this so they do this to themselves and take an honest assessment of where they're at. You cannot do anything if you don't even know where you're at and where you're starting from or where you're at today in a particular area, whether that be your, communication skills, your finances, right? Your health. So that's why I named this. Are you living in reality or are you in la la land? We all have seen it, right? People on the internet that are morbidly obese and other people are saying they're beautiful. You're not fucking beautiful. You are a couple of hot dogs away from dying. Are you kidding me? That's not reality. You're obese. You're not aesthetic. You're not beautiful. You don't look good. You're out of shape. You're unhealthy. You're way overweight. That's reality. Now, they have every right internally to say whatever they want. Fair enough. But the reality is the reality. You can't call people like me a dick because I call out the reality while everyone else is just, right, endorsing that, right? Or feeding that delusion, enabling that behavior, right? If we're going to get technical. Now, when you take a real look at what I just talked about, the results always will show, right? Like all the people telling their friend, oh, you're so beautiful, to the girl that's like super obese. Well, the men that she wants don't want her. I'll look at that same girl, me, a man of very high value, especially in the dating world. I got my shit together. I'm intelligent, physically strong. I can protect, make a lot of money. I have status, right? All the stuff, right? Not perfect, but I know I've earned that position. I wouldn't want that woman. No way. No way. And people in my position will be very blunt and say, not going to happen. They said you're beautiful. You're not. Sorry. It would be as if I lied. That's no different than me going around saying I'm 6'6". I'm not. I'm 6'2". I can't just say I'm 6'6", even if everybody says you're 6'6", you're 6'6". Hey, when I measure it with the tape, I'm 6'2". That's reality. Oh, that one bank account I have here says 50,000. Uh-oh. No, it says 500,000. Now I can envision and work to get it to 500,000, but right now that one bank account has $51,000 or 50,000, whatever it is, right? That's what it's got. That's reality, right? But again, we're so off in la la land right now. People don't want to deal with why? Because they're not satisfied with their current circumstance. Fair enough. Most people aren't. I'm still striving for more too. We all are. But we have to be able to raise our hands and say, this is where I'm at currently. This is my business. This is my lifestyle, my relationships, my skills, these things that matter to me. This is where I'm at. And then the judgment and what the world gives you in association with where you're at, you have to accept. So if right now you're broke, you have to accept that you're broke and the consequences that come with it, right? Especially if you're a man, less access in the dating world, less respect, less opportunities, right? Life's a little harder because you don't have the money. You have to accept that. You have to accept it because that's where you're at now. I've been there, right? And a lot of people are there. Do something about it if you don't like it. That's the beauty of this world that we live in, is you can change it. That type of stuff isn't permanent, but we have to start where we're at. We can't make the stories and fluff and create this world of delusion where now suddenly that's not reality. It is reality. And the more we step into this, and especially like this is for everybody, but especially the men, right? The more we step into that, life gets better for you. You suddenly are like more aware, you're more grounded, and things become more real. You'll kick yourself more into gear. You'll want to do more. You'll focus on what is supposed to be priorities for you instead of being lost. The further detached you are from reality, the easier it is for you to get manipulated or sucked into your phone or Netflix or TikTok and all that garbage, and you get away from your purpose because you've disconnected from it. And the farther and more you're disconnected, right? the easier it is to fall into all the other stuff, because now you're misguided and with no direction. So, someone like me, as an example, can come and pull you very quickly a certain way because I'm a force, because I'm concentrated, I'm directed, right? I'm like a train going boom. So if you're kind of loose and you're easily moved, well, the wind, right, of my train going by is going to move you. You want to become the train. You want to become that train because there's power in that, the direction, the speed, the certainty. Starting somewhere and going to a destination that's defined before the train takes off. That's what you want to be. But the train has to understand, I'm in the real world, I'm on the tracks. It can't go halfway with the tracks done and say, well, we're just going to imagine that there's more tracks and we're going to keep going. No, if there's no more tracks, it falls off and it gets derailed and it crashes. Right? Because when it comes to stuff like that, they can't live in the world of delusion. They need to be real. So in conversation and all these ideas and theories and concepts, we can be delusional. But when it comes to the real world shit, you can't go to somebody and say, well, yeah, I don't have the money to pay rent, but I'm going to manifest it tomorrow. So come back. No, it's due today. You got to pay. All right. If you want to get a little bit further in conversation or in sales or, in the dating world, and you don't have the skills, you're going to have to earn the skills. You're going to have to be where you're at, get rejected, not get the sale, right? And then eventually you'll get there, but you have to deal with the reality. You can't complain and be like, well, no, I took the shot, so I deserve it. I made the sales call, so I should get the sale. No, you didn't earn it, because the real world gave you the data and the results, which is you're not good enough yet. You didn't get the sale. You didn't get the phone number. You didn't get the opportunity. That's the reality, dude. And eventually when you get good enough, you start converting the sales. You start getting phone numbers, right? All the stuff that you want. But you have to look at the feedback that you're getting. Because some people think in their mind, oh, I'm the most confident person on the planet. My product is worth $1 million. But if nobody's buying your shit, it's not worth $1 million, dude. Now, that's the beauty, is it could potentially be worth $1 million. That's the beauty of this game. You have to keep playing it if you want to get there. But if you're not getting the result, you don't just stop and sit back and complain. You do something about it. You work. I upped my worth a lot. And I always took stock of where I was at because I didn't want to lie to myself. And we lie to ourselves, and then we find the people around us that will confirm that lie. That's the problem. All right, let's continue here. All right, Dylan's in the audience. What's up, Dylan? I really only go to grocery store and gym. Well, you got to go out, bro. Right? Go to local dive bars, right? Go to meetup groups, right? If you're interested in music or something like that, you have to go and mingle with people and get out there. The world is out there. You got to meet people. You got to approach people on the street, go to the mall, right? You got to get out there, bro. Right? And if you have a friend, take a friend with you, or start meeting people when you're out, then invite the people that you meet out to go out to other places with you. That's what I'd recommend. If someone is trying to sell you something in person that you have zero interest in, what do you say if they're persistent? You walk away. No, thank you, sir. I got to go. Bye. That's what you do if you want to end it. Just walk away. That's the best thing you can do. It's not rude if you walk away. Just say, I appreciate it. No, thank you. Walk away. Right? There you go. Well, let's continue. So we've covered a little bit here in the beginning. Now, the emotional reality of these things is heavy for most people. To look at your bank account and it's negative, or you only have a couple bucks. Like I was there 10 years ago, right? Or, hey, I want a girlfriend, but I'm not even talking to a girl right now, right? Wherever you're at in whatever category where it's like, fuck, you don't like the current reality and emotionally it's not comfortable. That's the first place, is you have to become comfortable with those emotions. Understanding that in this process of accepting where you're at, whether they're favorable circumstances or not favorable, right? Unfavorable circumstances, you have to accept it and be comfortable with the emotion of elation or the emotion of lack. Not to say one is better than the other, but the emotions associated with it, you need to become okay with it. Because what do? You run for the feeling good and you want to hug that, but you try to reject anything that feels bad. This is why people get addicted. This dynamic that I'm describing right here. in that pursuit of hugging that great emotion and feeling good and free and happy and enthusiastic, they'll take drugs, drink, right? That's the escape to hug it. Because to the degree that you will fight for this one, the other one has control of you. Because these are two sides of the same coins, my friends. Look at the person, right? Let me give you a parallel example. Look at the person who's in the public eye, someone like me, but think of somebody way bigger than me, right? Way more popular, right? Way more popular. The people who gloat in the positive comments that they get, right? All the recognition, they're like, yeah, I'm the shit, and they gloat in it and they love it. What happens when people criticize them or someone talks shit or something comes out, a hit piece comes out about them? Oh, they're down in the dumps. It destroys them. Why? Because to work this dynamic properly, you need to be impartial to both, because you need to understand the pendulum, right? It's one of the universal laws. But pay attention to those people, right? The proper is to be in the middle. I don't gloat in the positivity. I don't pay too much attention to the negativity. I'm even keel, right? I'm like a wave like this. I'm not these extremes, peaks and valleys. I'm like a cool little wave, right? That's the best way to go about it. But pay attention to that, right? Cool. Dylan said, you mentioned you keep track of your worth over the years, right? Well, yeah. As an example, Dylan, in my business, I started first computing what I was worth per hour. And the first time I did it, I found out I was worth $130 an hour as an entrepreneur. And at the time, I thought I was worth nothing. But when I broke down the numbers, I was worth 130. And I kept tracking it at least every 6 months or year. And then it went up 200, 350, 400, 500 an hour, 1,000 an hour. And it kept going out, right? And it's not about, you see, you put the word, and could you detail where you felt you were in life, right? It's not a feeling, Dylan. We have to concretely assess where we're at. It's not a feeling, it's where you're at. So what do? You take a look. These major categories, right? Health, wealth, relationships. You have good relationships with your friends and your family. Maybe you have a significant other, girlfriend, whatever your relationship style is, and that's in good state. Your finances are taken care of. Your health, okay, then you can make an assessment at 25 and say, these areas are 7 out of 10. Good. Then by 30, you do the same thing. But you have to look at the reality, not how you feel about it. Because I could sit here and say, I feel amazing about everything. But if we take a look at the objective reality of where I'm at in those areas, then that's the truth, right? So you have to take assessment of these things all the time. And typically at the end of the year right now is when people reflect, right? If you do genuine reflection a couple times a year, especially now, it's good because you take a look at the numbers, the reality, and what it is, right? Cool. So for many people, right? For many people, they have to first accept where they're at. And then now you have a starting point and you have to create the end point. Where do you want to be? I have, again, let's make up an example. I have 1,000 in my bank account right now. I want to get to having 100,000 in my bank account. Okay. You have a starting point and you have an ending point now. What are you going to do to get there? And that's when the game begins. That's somebody now who has a target in sight, right? And they're motivated by something. That's the beauty of being a human being. Just as easily as we're, swayed by BS and all that, when we focus on something, we become infinitely more powerful and capable. Because nature, the world, God, whatever you want to call it, has not been able to stop the human being from progressing, right? We conquered the animal kingdom, right? Look at technology. It's just incredible what we've done. But if we all wandered aimlessly, then we're no good. Then the lions would have eaten us and we would have been out of existence, right? That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. So I really urge people to be real about where they're at and what they do. Be real. Where are you at? If you want to talk shit, oh, I'm a mover and shaker and I'm great at sales, but you're not making any sales. You're not. You suck. Sorry. You claim to be, fucking smooth and I'm great with the ladies, but again, your phone is empty and there's no women in your life. You're not a player, bro. Sorry. We need to look at the reality. You claim, oh man, I dress sharp all the time and I'm cool. I'm this and I'm all about image, but you're in your sweats 24/7, 365. Sorry, dude. You claim to be a boss and, run this business, but you don't have employees and you don't have a business. Sorry, you're not a boss. You don't have a business. Right. And again, remember what I said in the beginning of this live. We're so crazy as a world right now. When I say this, They'll say I'm an asshole for saying that. I'm mean and this and that. I'm not. It's just the reality. Calling things as they are, like saying, oh, it's cloudy outside. Oh, the sun is setting. That doesn't make you an asshole. The people saying that are soft. They think they're so special. They think the world around them needs to adjust to them and their fucking feelings. Fuck their feelings, fuck your feelings, and fuck my feelings. Nobody owes us shit. Nobody owes us anything. Understanding, to care about. Nobody owes us anything. So even for those people to make that request is ridiculous. And that's why people like me will never be big on these platforms, because we attack that idea and we can just deconstruct it with our communication. And the powers that be know that. That's why they silence us. And they don't want these conversations to be had. They don't want people like me on the world stage dealing with these people and handling them live in front of millions of people, because people will very quickly see through the bullshit. Very quickly. It's not a surprise that when people come around me, like my students, suddenly their lives change for the better. Like immediately. I just got off a call. When was it? Today is Saturday. Thursday, right? I had a few people from my OG coaching program upgrade to the lifetime membership, right? On the first level. They were blown away by the first call, and it was 45 minutes. And we didn't even really get into anything, but because it was smaller and intimate and we covered something different, right away, I saw a difference. And I'm still getting messages from them right now. One fucking call, one Zoom call for fucking 45 minutes. Incredible. You see? But I'm able to give to them in that 45 minutes maybe stuff that took me years to learn and discover on my own. But see, I've been very real with them about them, but first real about me and myself and what I need to do. And the outside will always reflect back what's going on here. That's why my world now is so peaceful. I'm getting results. Opportunities seem abundant and easy, right? Stuff always lines up. I laugh all the time. When I need things to line up, they just do. It's nuts at this point. New person comes into my life, a deal happens, an opportunity happens for money, new friendship, connection, business, right? Women, whatever it is. It just, boom, it falls into my lap. But I can't say that's by chance. I've created this through hard work, dedication, right? And all these concepts that I've been talking about for years. And if you're willing to do that, you can create the same for yourself. But there has to be that starting point. And just like I'm brutally honest with people in the world, I'm also first brutally honest and real with myself. Otherwise, I would be a hypocrite doing stuff like this. I've told you guys, as an example, this year I've had record-breaking income months and low months all in the same year. It's crazy, right? Last month was pretty good. December, this month, pretty good, right? This is a month where I'm making well into the six figures this month, right? I made a joke the other day. It's like, oh yeah, I had a six-figure day. And when I started 10 years ago, I was thinking about making six figures in a year. That's a trip to think about. 10 years ago, oh, I want to make six figures in a year in business and real estate and sales and entrepreneurship. And now it's happened more than once, but I'm having six-figure days. That's a trip. Even saying that in the back of my mind, I'm like, wow, what a fucking journey. You see, but it's a testament of these principles and of what's possible. Because for the people who have been following me for years, you've been seeing this unfold in front of you, all this stuff that I talk, because again, I get it, right? I'm just a random person on the internet. You know, he's probably full of shit like the rest of them. Fair enough, dude. I understand the skepticism. But when I've been here this long, a decade now, over a decade at this point, and all the stuff that I've talked about has come to fruition and you've seen it and experienced it, there has to be a point where you're like, maybe this dude is onto something. Maybe all the shit he's been talking, he's right. Not perfect. I've been wrong about shit, right? But maybe overall, this motherfucker knows what he's talking about, right? I just did that challenge this week, and that's what I think Robert, right? Shout out to him. He's like, fuck, bro, you really know your shit, because this is like his first time doing something of mine where he paid, right? And he was just like, wow. And I like getting comments like that because you don't know. They don't know. You don't know until you come a little closer, right? Cool. So I don't want to babble on, guys. I will be on tomorrow. I've added some stuff in the description, right? The website, all the stuff that we offer. Check it out. We just wrapped up that precise communication challenge. I was excited about that because we had a good group, and people are really dedicated when they're signing up for a challenge and this type of stuff at the end of the year because most people have checked out. All right. Appreciate you guys being here. Maybe next week we'll have some more time and we'll get to the questions, but I'll be on tomorrow sometime in the evening as well. All right.